We would like to welcome you to this our Christmas concert. It is an initiative that Paulina and I planned together, and I think it's a wonderful thing that music has a way of bringing people together in that voice. It is precisely music that caused our friendship to blossom. We met in a group for going to vegan restaurants and that sort of thing. I don't talk so much to the people who were there. She's the only one that I kept on, let's say, and it was precisely because of a musical connection. Do you want to say something?
No, I think we're going to talk about the bosses later on, but
yes.
Yeah, it was really nice to always come here, play with you, and I'm really grateful for everybody who has taken this, who has come this way, overcome the rain to be here today, and very grateful that you're all here and that we can spend this evening together, so thank you.
So when we were planning the program for this concert, we thought about doing many different pieces. I wanted to play Mozart at one point, Paulina wanted to play Debussy. At the end, we ended up with pieces just from the Romantic period, which is quite an interesting thing because these types of concerts, the one that you're participating in, are born in the 19th century. In fact, the recital as a form is kind of invented, like musicologists say, by Liszt, because he was the first to use the word recital, and specifically when he did a number of recitals in London to finance a sculpture of Beethoven that was to be put up in the city of Bonn. When we were planning about the concert, we decided the piano was usually this way, we put it this way, and that is also a contribution from the 19th century. In fact, putting the piano at a right angle to the audience is something that was new, and some people credit it to Liszt, some to another pianist whose name escapes me right now, but he was known as le beau visage, meaning the beautiful face, because the reason he wanted to be put as a profile to the audience was so that people could observe him. So this is also the reason why we decided to put the piano this way. Finally, I would like to say that the pieces that we are performing are very special for other reasons that I will explain, and because there is a willingness in them to bring people together and create music. The first piece that I will play, you see according to the program, is a piece by a Mexican composer from the 19th century called Manuel Ponce. It is a composition called Malgré, which has a very specific story. So in 1900 there was a sculptor called Jesus Fructuoso Contreras who actually lost his right arm due to cancer. And he created a very famous sculpture called Malgré, that means despite it all, just really only with his left hand, even though he still had the right one. This sculpture won the first prize in the Exposition Universelle in Paris in 1900. And his friend, who was this composer, created a piece just for the left-hand piano, which is something that is quite rare. But in this piece, there is everything about the tragic fate of his friend. There is a lot of bitterness in the first part, it's divided into two, and the second part tries to take on a look to acceptance about the tragic the tragic fate of humankind. As you might see, there are a lot of hands in this apartment. So when I was studying this piece, for which I wrote an article for my art history degree, I became sort of obsessed with hands from an artistic perspective. And all of these hands that you see here are part of a series called Malgré, just as a composition, just as the other sculpture, that seek to represent the struggle between physicality and the divine spark of creation. The fact that we are human beings with fragile bodies that break, and that yet we're able to create art and music through it. So the first piece now is Manuel Ponce, Malgré, just for left-hand piano. Thank you. The second piece that I will play is a piece by Schubert. Schubert is considered by many to be the first romantic composer. The title is given to other composers as well, but it is very interesting that music, the romanticism in music, comes a little later than it does in literature. For example, Schubert's, one of his first pieces is the King of the Elves, the Erlkönig, that he presented to Goethe when he was 18. Schubert, Goethe by that point was 75, and he didn't appreciate the new style of the new young composer that nobody knew at the moment, and now it's considered one of the most wonderful pieces of the Lieder repertoire. So Schubert, specifically, he is known for, in like right now, because of impromptus and other piano pieces, but at the moment, what was the most important and famous for him was his cycle of songs or Lieder. This piece that I will play, now it's mostly known in its instrumental version, but it's actually a Lieder. And I think that it's important to understand where this piece is coming from. And for that reason, I would like to ask Paulina to read the original text that comes for this piece. It's a poem, I forget by whom, I hope it's over there, but it's not. You can read it in German and I will read it in English, please.
But you only said me.
Did I? I will just read it in English then. So it's a serenade. It's a very, it's kind of a nighttime piece about longing and love. My songs call out gently through the night as they beseech you. Come down here into the quiet grove of trees. Beloved, come to me. Slender treetops whisper as they rustle in the moonlight. No traitor is going to overhear us. Do not be afraid, my love. Can you hear the nightingale singing? Oh, they are beseeching you with the sweet notes of their laments. They are interceding with you on my behalf. They can understand the longing of the breast. They are familiar with the pain of love. With their silver notes, they stir every sensitive heart. Let your own breast be moved too, beloved. Listen to me. I am trembling as I await your response. Come, give me bliss. So this is the text that Schubert musicalized. Right now you will only listen to the instrumental version, but I think it's very much inspired by the kinds of sentiments and the kind of narrative that you can find in this poem. So this is the, how do you pronounce it? Standchen.
Standchen.
That. hardest of the three, is another piece that was born as a leader. It is Liebestraum No. 3 by Liszt. It is, not a lot of people know that, but it's a nocturne. Again, it was inspired by, and it was musicalized, and it actually exists first of all as a song. Liszt then adapted it as a version just for piano solo. This time, we do have the poem in German, and Paulina will read it, please.
O lieb, solange du lieben kannst, o lieb, solange du lieben magst. Die Stunde kommt, wo du an Gräbern stehst und klagst. Und sorge, dass dein Herze glüht und Liebe hegt und Liebe trägt, solange ihm noch ein ander Herz in Liebe warm entgegenschlägt. Und wer dir seine Brust erschließt, o tu ihm, was du kannst, zulieb, und mach ihn jede Stunde froh und mach ihn keine Stunde trüb. Und hüte deine Zunge wohl, bald ist ein böses Wort gesagt. O Gott, es war nicht bös gemeint, der andere aber geht und klagt. O lieb, solange du lieben kannst, o lieb, solange du lieben magst. Die Stunde kommt, wo du an Gräbern stehst und klagst.
The English version. Oh love, as long as love you can. Oh love, as long as love you may. The time will come when you will stand at the grave and mourn. Be sure that your heart burns and holds and keeps love, as long as another heart beats warmly with its love for you. And if someone bears his soul to you, love him back as best you can. Give him every hour joy, let him pass none in sorrow. And guard your words with care, lest harm flow from your lips. Dear God, I mean no harm, but the loved one recoils and mourns. Oh love, love as long as you can. Oh love, love as long as you may. The time will come when you will stand at the grave and mourn. So as you can see, this is a piece about the inevitability of death and how we are meant to love even and despite of it.